everybody, Brad Ross here with MakeMagicMoney.com and the Magic Marketing Center. Welcome to this webcast on lead generation, referrals, social media, and more. I am super excited to have all of you joining us with us here this evening because tonight I am going to share with you the amazing secret for getting a steady stream of referrals, booking as many gigs as you want, doubling your income, and becoming a celebrity in your market. What you're going to discover tonight is a new and a complete system. A system that will dramatically increase your income, dramatically increase the number of times a client books you, dramatically increases the number of referrals you get. In fact, this system will at least double or triple your referrals. This system will also increase the amount of respect you get and in turn turn you into a celebrity, thereby allowing you to increase your fee. Best of all, this system is already set up for you, and you can put it on 100% autopilot so that you really don't even have to lift a finger if you don't want to. Now, I know this sounds too good to be true, but by the end of this time here today, by the end of reading and listening and watching this, you will understand exactly how this works, exactly how powerful it is, and exactly how this system will put a lot more money into your pocket. And I'm going to break it down for you this evening. I am going to give you the step-by-step virtual blueprint to solve the 4 problems working magicians experience. So let's break these down and discuss each one of these. I'm going to grab a quick sip of water. You may hear me taking more water breaks than usual. Just about 5 days ago, I totally lost my voice. And thankfully, it came back just in time for my niece's bat mitzvah this past weekend because I was performing there and I had to speak. So thankfully it came back. It's still not quite as strong as it normally is. So I apologize in advance for some extra water breaks during our time here together. So the 4 problems that working magicians experience. Let's dive in. Problem number 1. No systematic way to stay in contact with past clients. This is a scenario that we see happen all the time. Magicians go out, they do a show, they get paid, they go home, maybe they send a thank you. Most don't even send a thank you. They get the gig, they got paid, that's the end of it. If they ever hear from that client again, it's probably because that client decided to call them back again, which can happen, but you're kind of relying on just dumb luck. That someone's going to remember to contact you, that someone's going to look for you, go out of their way to not research anyone else, and to call you back. Because you've done no solid means, made no strategic efforts to stay in contact with them. That's problem number 1. Problem number 2, no formalized referral system in place. Sure, it's nice when someone gives you a call or sends you an email and said, "Oh, my neighbor Jessica recommended me to you. She said you were great at her kid's party. Do you do walk-around entertainment? My husband, I'm planning his holiday party. Do you do that?" Sure, that's great when we get a referral like that. But without a formalized system in place, we're just depending on dumb luck again. Number 3, no system to stay in contact with the leads who request information. So in other words, your phone rings, your email box dings, you have someone that's interested in booking you. Whether they book you or not, what do you do with them after that? Chances are you have their email, especially if they emailed you. You have their phone number if they called you, or vice versa. But do you ever grab their address to send them a little something in the mail? To send them some information for the future? To spend the buck that it might cost you between postage and a little brochure or a sales letter or a follow-up? Have you ever started gathering that information to build a list? Most magicians and entertainers do not gather that vital, critical, imperative information that is a prospect's info. a prospect's email, their phone number, their address. At the very least, every person that you come in contact with, you should be gathering that information so that you can develop a system to stay in contact with them. And by the end of tonight's webinar, you're going to know exactly how to do that. But you're going to have that information. So make yourself a promise, a little pledge, that as of now, this very moment, you are going to make sure that you get the name, email, address, of course the name, email address, phone number, and mailing address of every lead that comes into your office, whether it be through phone, be through a website form, or through an email inbox. And finally, problem number 4, no productive, trust building, valuable social media content. That's a big problem because we're all on social media. At the very least, we're all at least on Facebook. But most of what we post has nothing to do with building trust, nothing to do with allowing our prospects or existing clients to continue to get to know, like, and trust us, and to continue building that trust and continue adding that value, which equates to top-of-mind awareness. So, looking at this, we got some problems to solve. How do we start working with all of this stuff? Well, let's take a look at this. You need to have a monthly follow-up system in place. Lots of times, people request information and not hire you right away. This has happened to you, right? Of course, this happens to all of us. What most magicians do is they make 1 or 2 feeble attempts and then never contact the prospect again. This is a huge, gigantic waste. Big, big problem. You need to have a formalized referral system in place. This is a must. If you've been in business for some time and the majority of your shows are not coming from referrals, it means 2 things. One of 2 things. 1, your show could suck. That might be the reality. Or 2, you do not have a referral system. I think for the majority of us, number 1 is not the case. I think the majority of us, it's that we do not have a referral system in place. It doesn't matter if you do birthday parties, corporate gigs, trade shows, whatever. Your past clients should be your biggest source of repeat gigs and referrals. It's kind of like the old 80-20 principle. 80% of your shows should come from 20% of your clients. If you're not experiencing this, you really don't have a business because each month you have to struggle to find new clients and you have to struggle to book shows cold. You're not building up a momentum. Perfect example. Let's see if is he on here tonight? I don't know if he is. One of my coaching clients, I was talking to him earlier today. I don't see him on the webinar here tonight. Mike. I was talking to Mike earlier, and he told me he literally doubled his income, the amount of shows coming into his business. He's been a coaching client of mine for about 6 months now. And this March and April compared to last March and April, literally he went from an average of 17 shows a month to an average of 36 shows a month. And he just said, it is so great to feel like I really have a business now because I have a constant influx of shows because I'm systematizing everything that I do in my business. That is a huge, huge strategy that we all need to implement. And our final little tidbit here is that you need to have a systemized way of using social media so that you're not just posting a selfie with your audience that we know everybody loves to post, or a photo of your setup like we all like to post, but instead to think outside of the box and really post to your own blog, tweet, Facebook post, Instagram post, e-blast, your newsletter, and articles out to your prospects and customers. You've got to start building the authority, the celebrity impact that you are, in fact, the only choice in your marketplace. At the bottom line, here's what we've arrived at. You need, absolutely positively need, to stay in regular touch with your clients. Bottom line. This is usually where we get the yeah buts. My good friend Ken Scott calls them the yeah buts. Well, yeah, but Brad, I know I need to stay in touch with my regular clients, but it's so hard. Doesn't matter. You need to stay in regular touch with your clients. Yeah, but Brad, it's a lot of work. Yeah, but Brad, what do I send to them? What do I email them? What do I post to them? Yeah, but Brad, it's just so much work. Look, I get it. I realize there's work involved. But what's your alternative? Waiting for the phone to ring? Waiting for the email box to fill? Waiting for someone to go to your website by chance and contact you? I don't know about you. I'm not that much of a gambler, but those odds are pretty bad. If you're not doing anything direct marketing related, in other words, doing anything to attract people to come to you, building your list, people always think it's so difficult to build a list. The reality is anyone that calls you, boom, whether they book you or not, they belong in your database. Heck, you don't even need to have a complicated, fancy database. You could be keeping track of people in an Excel spreadsheet, an open office document, okay? A Google document. It's free on Google, just like Excel. Everybody needs to be keeping track of every single person that contacts them for a show. That is your list. If you're starting out fresh, you might only have a couple by the end of this week, and maybe 10 or 15 by the end of this month. But compounded over time, you will have a lot of people on this list that have at some point made a contact with you. And if you, whether they book you or not, if you keep in regular touch with them, it actually isn't all that hard. It's just a matter of every month keeping in touch, sending them a little something to let them know you exist. Maya Angelou said it best. I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. And that is one of my favorite quotes because that's the experience. Fortunately, we're listening to this as entertainment service providers, magicians and clowns and puppeteers and ventriloquists and hypnotists and professional speakers, mentalists. That's the great thing. We always provide an experience, but that experience shouldn't end after the last bow. It needs to continue on. It shouldn't end just because someone didn't secure a date with you. You need to continue building that trust because if they didn't book you, it might be for a reason that you could have prevented. It might be for a reason out of your control. But you need to start making them feel something. This is a big part of how you build a brand. Most magicians and service providers, any service providers for that matter, perform the show. They provide the service. They get paid, and boom, they split. That's it. But have you ever considered if you kept in touch with those people, not just the customers, but even the prospects who didn't book you, what the true lifetime value of a customer might actually be? Let's look at some examples. How much is the birthday mom booking you for little Johnny's birthday party really worth to you? Or the PTA rep for the school fundraiser? Or the secretary booking you for the company's summer picnic? How much are they worth to you? Well, let's take a brief look here at customer lifetime value. Hopefully you're taking notes because this is something that I definitely want you to write down. CLV, customer lifetime value. What can you do with this if you actually figure this out? Well, customer lifetime value is the single most important metric for understanding your customers. CLV helps you make important business decisions about your sales, about marketing, product development, customer support. For example, let's take a little bit of a deeper look. In marketing, how much should I spend to acquire a customer? Well, if you've never actually figured out how much a potential birthday customer is over the lifetime value of a birthday customer, you're not going to know how much money to sink into your birthday party business. If you do trade shows and corporate events, you need to figure this out because you actually have a great amount of money that you can spend to acquire a customer because of the customer lifetime value. How about the product? How can I offer a new show or new services tailored for my best customers? Can I afford new backdrops, new illusions, new magic tricks, etc.? In customer support, CLV comes into play. How much should I spend to service and retain a customer? In sales, what type of customers should I spend the most time trying to acquire so that I can keep my pipeline filled? Not all customers are created equal. Many of us work multiple markets. My big suggestion for you is you need to figure out the lifetime value of your customers in each of your markets. Let's say you work kid shows, birthdays, preschools, and corporate events. Well, the corporate event customer is going to be a whole lot higher of a dollar value, potentially, than the birthday party and then the preschools. But if you don't know what that customer lifetime value dollar amount is, it's going to be difficult in your marketing, your product growth, your customer support, and your sales. You want to keep that pipeline filled. Now, you might be thinking, Brad, this sounds interesting, but how the heck am I going to figure out the lifetime value of a customer? Let me explain. Let's just take a basic example. There's a lot of family entertainers on this webcast here tonight. Let's say a $300 show is your typical library gig. The average basic magician is going to take that $300. He does the show, boom, he runs, he's finished. He may follow up the next year, maybe give a call the next year to the librarian, maybe send a postcard to the librarian, but the buck kind of stops there. There's really no other communication until the magician becomes selfish, God forbid, and says, oh no, summer's coming up, I need more work. Let me call up that librarian that loved my show so much last year. Well, the reason I say that's kind of selfish is because where have you been in the last 11 months since you did that show? That's kind of selfish. How many of us have a neighbor that only talks to us when they need something? How many of us have a relative or a friend that only calls us or emails or Facebook messages us when they need something? We all experience that. I don't want you guys to turn into the magician, the entertainer, the entrepreneur who only hits people up when you want something, like their money, because it's going to be inauthentic. I want you to be authentic, not inauthentic. I want you to be the likable, the trustable, the valuable entrepreneur, the valuable service provider. So let's take a look at this. Magician does the library gig, $300. Let's say you sell some back of room products. Maybe you got a great book that you wrote that you sell for $20. You got a magic set, you got some magic wands, a couple things. At the end of that show, you averaged about $200 in back of room sales. Well, now you have a $500 gig. Okay, that's if you never worked for them again, had no hopes of keeping in touch. You were just going to wait on dumb luck that may never happen. The only thing you can be guaranteed is a $500 gig. Now, if you keep in touch with that customer throughout the year, maybe you've got an opportunity to do, let's say, 2 gigs minimum for that year. Maybe you're there in the winter time, and then maybe you're there again in the summer. So now, if you figure that $300 performance fee plus that $200 back of room fee, well, now you're dealing with $500 times 2. Basic math, we're at about $1,000 a year with this client. I don't know about you, but a lot of librarians keep the same guys. A lot of guys that are some of my great friends who are top educational presenters like Joe Romano, Ken Scott, John Carlson. These guys, Barry Mitchell, Tim Sonnefeld, these guys are doing libraries for 5, 10, 15 years in a row. Because every year, the library theme changes. They don't need to change magicians once they have someone they like. So let's just figure conservatively, excuse me, that you have a 10-year relationship with that client from that library. Well, now that $1,000 a year that you do, 2 gigs minimum a year equals $10,000. $10,000 client lifetime worth. That tells you a whole heck of a lot. I don't know about you, but I'd rather spend a couple pennies, a couple bucks a year to keep in touch with that librarian so she remembers me because I'd love to make $10,000 from just one client and have multiple people that I'm making $10,000 for, that I'm making $1,000 a year. Wouldn't that be nice? This is not secret, convoluted, impossible dreams here. This is very, very real. Now, obviously, I'm using a particular market and a particular set of price points, but you can see how this is not far-fetched. This is not some off-the-wall, harebrained, impossible to duplicate scheme. No, this is actually very, very basic. It just takes a little bit of figuring out to do, and you can figure it out easily, knowing and looking basically at this. Looking at how much you charge your customers, looking at how many times you could work for them a year, how many times you could work for them over several years, and so on and so forth. And it all comes back to knowing that lifetime value allows you the ability to have an ongoing dialogue with them, an ongoing relationship, which is what we're talking about here tonight. That constant build of top-of-mind awareness. Now, let's take a look here. What if the librarian forgets about you? Oh no, you were one of those magicians, one of those selfish magicians, those selfish entertainers who did the gig, took the money, and ran. It's pretty easy for the librarian to forget about you. Out of sight, out of mind. Business has a lot of similarities to relationships. You ever go on a date with someone? I mean, those of you that are married probably haven't gone on a date in many years, I hope. I hope not. When you went on a date with someone, you had the date, and then let's say you went out on business for 2 months on the road, or hey, you went, and just got so busy with work that you couldn't see that person. And then the next thing you know, 2 months later, boom, that person met somebody else. You weren't calling. You weren't in sight. You weren't there. You weren't building top of mind awareness. That person moved on to the next person. You don't want that to happen in business. Your biggest source of shows, and write this down, this is a writer downer, your biggest source of shows should be repeat and referral. I'll never forget when I actually figured this out for myself early on in my business. I probably had been doing shows for, probably about 5 years, and I was in college, and I did a calculation. And I realized that 75% of my shows were repeat referrals, or they saw me live in person. And only 25% of my shows were brand new. They had never heard of me. They had never seen me or anything. And at first I kind of thought that was bad because, heck, I'm spending all this money on advertising, on marketing, and I'm only getting 25% new customers. But what I didn't realize is that's actually exactly where I want it to be. Because I'm spending that money to bring in the 25% new people that will stay as a part of my 75% larger amount. And I will turn those new customers into raving fans that will continue coming back time and time and time again. That's exactly what you want. Now, not only do we need to keep in touch in order to get booked back by the same clients over and over, but we want their referrals. We want them to continue telling other people about how great their experience was with us. Here's 2 interesting facts. 2 facts about the lifetime value of a customer. Number 1, the retention rate increases with every passing year. In other words, the longer customers stay with you, the longer they tend to stay. Both the number of customer orders and the value of each order tend to increase. That's number 2. So, excuse me, you should remember that you should be spending some time to make sure that your customers remember you and stay in touch. Should you? Hell yes! You have got to spend that time. If you are not spending time allowing people to refer you, reminding people to refer you, getting people to just remember you when they themselves hired you, you're leaving money on the table. You've got to start incorporating client retention and referral systems into your business. Because without those, I said it earlier, you're chasing shows cold every single month. And that's kind of scary. You see, when we look at it, there's 3 ways to grow a business. Chasing clients and prospects cold every single month is not one of these. In fact, it's a terrible way to run a business. And as I said earlier, that really doesn't equate to a business. It's kind of like an extra side job or extra income. It's not really a business. A business has systems in place. And as I've learned over the years that I've been in business, there's 3 ways to grow a business. So 3 writer downers. Number 1 is to get new customers. That's an easy, simple way to grow a business. Seems pretty obvious, doesn't it? Of course. But it's not just that easy. There's lead generation. There's advertising, referrals, publicity stunts, social media, and just dumb luck. Any and all of those are how we get new customers. And I'm sure you've had an experience with lots of those. Number 2, increase the number of times existing customers order from you. That's part of the lifetime value, increasing how often you do business with the same people. You should strive for the 80-20, that 80% of your customers come from 20%, or rather 80% of your shows come from 20% of your customers. And finally, increase the value of each order and sale. Because as someone has been with you for a longer period of time, they're more likely to recommend you to more important gigs. After someone's experienced you and gotten to know you, at their kid's birthday, and they find out you do adult gigs and corporate shows, they might recommend you to their husband, or the husband might recommend you to their wife's company so that you can do their cocktail hour at their annual company holiday party, or for the kids' schools. Then they find out you're an educational presenter as well. And you can charge more for that because now you have more specialties. Get new customers, increase the number of times a customer orders from you, and increase the value of each order and sale. 3 easy ways to grow a business. Well, easy is subjective, of course, but 3 surefire ways that a business grows. Now, when we think about those 4 problems that we dealt with earlier, that most magicians have, the no systematic way to stay in contact, no formalized referral system, no way to stay in contact with leads who request info but don't book, and no productive trust-building social media content. Well, what do I do about the leads that didn't book? Let's talk a little bit about that. I teased that earlier. You're scratching your head thinking, I've got a great show. I gave him a great pitch. I think I'm really good on the phone. And my pricing is in line with everyone else in the market, but they didn't book. Why? Why the heck didn't they book me? Well, I hate to tell you this, but there are a gazillion reasons why they didn't book. Chances are, if you've been in this business for more than a week, you know that you get calls, emails, and inquiries from leads who are so hot, so interested, so on board, and then they don't call. They don't email. They do call or do email and give any number of reasons why it's not going to work, why they didn't book. Or you never hear a peep from them again. Lame. That's lame sauce in my book. The smart magician, however, doesn't make that lame. They take that lame excuse or that lame customer that didn't react, and they say, I'm not going to take no for an answer. Personally, in my life, in my businesses, when someone tells me I can't do it, when someone tells me no, it's my personal mission to keep on working harder and harder to acquire them. The smart magician has a system in place. A system in place so that when they get a phone call, get the email, or get the website submission form, they've gotten the lead's phone number. They've gotten the lead's email address. And they've gotten the lead's mailing address. Most importantly, they don't just gather them and put them on a list somewhere. This is like this could be like a number 5, magicians who gather info but don't use it. The smart magicians actually use the contact information that they get from each of the leads that they get. Whether they book or not, they get the info and they use it. They are going to follow up for the immediate sale, and they are going to follow up forevermore, also known as buy or die. You are going to market to them. The smart magician will market to them until they buy from them or until they die from them. And that can, as morbid as it seems, that can literally mean they do, cease to exist on this planet. But it also means until they say, no, Mr. Magic, I'm not interested in your services. or they unsubscribe from your email list, or they just throw your junk away. But if they don't do those things and they're still on this planet, I am going to continue marketing to them until they buy or die. That is how you have to run your business. If you give up after one or two calls and you never bother following up with them, you're missing out on what potential opportunities exist. You may never be privy to the gazillion reasons which one of those reasons they didn't book you. So instead, follow up with them. Put a system in place in your business to stay in contact. Well, what about all this complicated social media stuff, Brad? That was your fourth big problem that magicians face, this social media stuff. It's so complicated. I have no idea what to do. Well, here are the 5 biggest mistakes that I've seen magicians and entertainers make when it comes to social media. And just make a personal note for yourself if you are, in fact, making any of these potential mistakes. Number 1, not committing to social media long term. Anyone that has studied social media, that has been to my workshops, It Factor Live, that has coached with me, that has any of my products that deal with social media, knows that social media is not an immediate overnight fix, especially as it changes, sometimes weekly, sometimes daily. The rules can change at any time. You've got to commit long term to a strategy and follow through with it. You can't expect to get 1 million followers overnight. You can't expect to book 1,000 shows overnight. You can't even expect to book 1 show overnight your first day on a social media platform. You've got to commit long term. Number 2, if you build it, they will come. Not true in social media. Just because you have a Facebook fan page doesn't mean people are going to find it. Just because you tweet doesn't mean people are going to follow your tweets. You may pick up a few randoms, but unless you have a strategy in place, you're never going to be able to get your customers and prospects to follow you. Just because you build it, they won't necessarily come. 3, pointless post overload that doesn't build trust, value, and likability. In other words, posting a picture of your show setup, big deal. I mean, I know that's a suitcase table. I know that's a squared circle sitting on top. I know that's a little sound system. I know that's a pop-up banner, but that doesn't mean anything to the average customer. I might know that you've got a wacky Wolf's Magic, bubblegum recombobulator trick that costs $600 sitting on the table. They don't know that. Pointless post overload. Most magicians do this. Or the opposite of number 3, post ghost town. Post ghost town. Sometimes I'll look at magicians' fan pages and there hasn't been a post on there in months. Worse, I look at magicians' fan pages and there hasn't been a post on there in maybe a year or more. You're certainly not going to attract people if they come to your page or they try and follow you on Twitter and then they see you haven't posted anything since 2013. Not the best way. And finally, the 5th biggest mistake magicians and entertainers make with social media is that nothing. They just do nothing. The opposite of Nike, just do it. They just do nothing. It's too complicated. There's too many rules. It's changing all the time. I'm not going to rely on it. I'm not going to participate in it. I'm just going to post political statements on my own personal page and point out the latest insults that people are making. That's not the answer. It's not the answer. You've got to commit long term. You've got to build the trust so they come. You've got to think about the posts. You've got to post regularly, and you've got to do it regularly. Those are super, super important. So I just threw a whole lot of stuff at you guys here in the first 30 minutes or so of our time together. You might be thinking, oh man, Brad, this is way too much. I thought I was getting a virtual blueprint here. All right. I'm about to give you that virtual blueprint. So if you're taking notes, and I hope you are, get ready. You're about to write down a whole bunch of stuff because I'm going to break this down. The 4 areas, those 4 big problems that you're probably facing in your business. If you're not facing 1 or 2, you're probably facing 3 or all of them. So get ready because I'm going to break this down. You're just about ready to be thrown a life preserver. Just when you feel like all hope is lost, I'm going to toss this life preserver out to you and I'm going to reel you back into shore. So here we go. 2 simple solutions. are going to solve everything that we talked about so far. All the problems with the prospecting, the lead generation, the referrals, the keeping in touch with your clients, the social media, all of that can be solved by 2 simple solutions. But first, I got to make sure you guys are still alive out there. If you want to hear these 2 simple solutions, type in the chat box, yes. Let me see that you're alive. Let me see that you're excited. All right, you guys, man, you guys are fast on this tonight. All right, you definitely want to see this. Boom, I love seeing that chat box explode there. Here we go, guys. All right, Tyler says, don't know if this works. It does work, Tyler. I can see you typing there. Absolutely. So get ready, because what I'm going to show you is definitely going to make your head explode. Now, I'm going to warn you. These might not be the most radical solutions. It's kind of like when you went into a magic shop for the first time when you got started as a kid, and they showed you it was just a little piece of invisible thread, or it was a little magnet under the box, or there was a little hidden pocket. And you think, well, that's it? It doesn't matter. That's all it needs to be. You can fool people with that little hidden pocket. You can fool people with that invisible thread. So don't judge this based on how simple these solutions are. And stay with me, because over the next 30 to 40 minutes, I am going to take you step by step through this whole system and explain how you can do this absolutely hands off. Super, super easy. So stick with me. Here we go. To solve our first 3 problems, most magicians and entertainers have with lead generating, with referrals, staying in touch. I've got 2 words for you. Does anyone know what those 2 words might be? Thank God. Yes, Mike, that's a good one. Man, you're making me choke over here. 2 words. Thank God, yes. Michelle LaFontaine, amazing system. Oh, man, that is a good one. Our buddy David Farr, but no, that is not it. James Kagan, I hope I'm saying that right. Contact management, good, but nope, not the 2 words I have in mind. Here we go. The drum roll, the 2 words to solve the first 3 problems. Client newsletter. Yes, client newsletter. A newsletter that you send to your clients is absolutely, positively the most important marketing tool that you can have for getting an avalanche of referrals, repeat gigs, and for staying in touch with your prospects. Your newsletter should be mailed every month to prominent members of your community who are centers of influence. This can lead to unexpected financial windfalls. A newsletter, a client newsletter, is an amazing tool that hardly any magicians and entertainers are even using in our current world. If done correctly, your newsletter will be something that your prospects and clients look forward to getting. Most entertainers who send a client newsletter actually do it completely wrong. I've been doing it personally for many, many years, so I've witnessed over a decade worth of all the people doing it completely wrong and having no success with a newsletter, which is why most people hear that and say, oh, I'm not going to do that. That doesn't work. No one's going to read a newsletter. I'm going to give you some big insider tips for creating a newsletter that rocks and produces results. And I've been putting it to the test myself, personally, in my own business since 2003, 13 years and counting that I have used newsletters, both online and offline, to become an expert to explain how this kind of a system can work for you guys. A newsletter sent monthly will help create a celebrity feel to you and to your brand. Now, combining that printed newsletter with monthly email messages will also boost your results even further. And then adding in a digital newsletter in addition to the print newsletter and monthly blog posts or e-blast messages will be the ultimate combo to build top of mind awareness, not to mention practicing some good social media strategies. Top of mind awareness. You've heard me mention that a few times here during this webcast. When the need arises for a particular service or product, what is the first thing, the first name, company, or store that comes to your mind? Whether it's a person or a business, they have successfully achieved top of mind awareness. I'm an Apple user. Apple has earned my business. I was against Apple for many, many, many years. And I think it was 2010 I first started buying Apple products. And they turned me into an Apple fan, a raving fan. When I think a laptop, I would not even hesitate to not go to Apple to purchase my next laptop or my next desktop computer or my next phone. I will not go to another company. They have earned it. They are my top of mind awareness company when it comes to computers. Everyone's got their own. But that's what you need to build up in your respective market. Whether you're doing birthdays, whether you're preschools, whether it's corporate entertainment, whether you're trade shows, speaking engagements, mentalist, hypnotist, doesn't matter. You want to achieve that top of mind awareness. The goal of public relations and all marketing really is to be parked in your customers' minds right next to the need button. I got one of these on my desk here from Staples.
That was easy.
The easy button. Every customer has a need button. This button rests right at the top of their mind. That's where you want to be parked. How do you do it? You gotta stay on top of their mind by not letting them forget about you. Now, what does that mean? Well, it can't be that you just call them every month and say, hey, just let you know I exist. Can't mean that you say, hey, send them an email and say, hey, I got a great daycare show. I got a great preschool show. Book me, book me, book me. That's not interesting. Instead, diversity leads to stability. You've got to do different things. You've got to constantly be thinking. You've got to be fresh with how you approach these customers so you can stay on top of mind awareness and build that. Think of an average product, a Tide laundry detergent. Their commercials change all the time because diversity leads to stability. Swiffer, the home cleaning product that eliminates like a mop and a broom. It's kind of all combined into one. Swiffer always has different commercials out there because diversity leads to stability. If you're doing the same marketing over and over again, you're not going to book the clients. You're not going to build a unique following. You're not going to be stable. Diversity leads to stability. Your newsletter should not, I repeat, should not just be about you and what you're selling. That's called a marketing piece. That's a promo item. That's a sales letter. Instead, your newsletter has to be fun. It's got to be interesting. It's got to be unique. Monthly themes. Think about taking your newsletter in January. You can do a special New Year's celebration or invite people, to get ready for Mardi Gras, which is going to be coming up. In February, Valentine's Day, maybe you have a gift certificate to all your past clients and you send them a little postcard letting them know about a contest that you're having. Maybe it's a fan page submission contest where they have to go onto your Facebook and post a picture from an event that they had you at, and you're giving away a Valentine's dinner gift certificate. In March, money to help the Red Cross, or anyone who calls to book you, you donate $10 to the Red Cross. April, thanks for all the response that we got during our Red Cross pledge drive, and we're going to have another movie night gift certificate contest. In May, do something for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. In June, summer vacation is just coming around the corner. Countdown. Maybe offer some kind of a special event, vacation discount to a vacation at a hotel. Maybe you could partner with a local hotel or a resort in your area. July, 4th of July gift package, candy, make up a whole gift basket that you can do with a contest and a fun promotion. In August, get ready for the fall. 2 lucky people are going to, win a whole back to school kit. In fact, my buddy Joe Romano just posted on his social media that he's offering a $500 teacher's break room makeover if they book a show by the end of May. If his shows are booked for the upcoming school year by the end of May, he's going to actually give them a $500 gift certificate to remake over their teacher's lounge. It's brilliant. In September, a fall charity. Maybe giving to a homeless shelter. Maybe doing a free show. October, Halloween picks, costume contest. November, another charity, the food bank. Planning tips for your upcoming holiday parties. December, thanking your customers. Doing a Toys for Tots drive. Literally, it is unlimited, the different promotions that you can do just to stay on top of mind for your customers and let them remember that you exist without telling them, hey, book my show, book my show, book my show. Trust me, they'll remember that they can call you to book a show, but you'll move a whole lot further in their good graces if you're actually about something that's not quite as selfish as just give me more money, money, money. You're actually donating to a cause that's greater than you. You're a good community person. You're a man or woman of character, and so on and so forth. So I want to give you some Your Client Newsletter Gold Star tips. You guys want some tips on creating your client newsletter? Type yes in the chat box. Let me hear you. Or I should say, let me read you. All right. Yes, 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 yes. Boom. Love it. And yeah, I see some questions are building up in the chat box. Feel free to put those in there. I will get to those at the end of tonight's presentation. So any questions I will get back to. Number one, I said it before. Say it again. Your newsletter has to be fun. It should include cartoons, games that people can play, crosswords, Sudoku, trivia. Again, you want people to really look forward to receiving it. First and foremost, we are in a fun, exciting, experiential type of business. That is the frontier. When we look at where we're going with 3D and virtual reality, in fact, Mark Cuban recently invested in a company that was all about experiential entertainment. We've got to reflect that in what it is that we do. Make it fun. Number two, devote only a part of your newsletter to promoting yourself. Doesn't mean you can't say anything about you. Of course you have to. It is still a marketing piece, but it's not a sales letter. The big mistake a lot of magicians make in using their newsletter is as an overt sales tool. This will doom your newsletter to failure and, worse, the trash can. No one wants to put a newsletter together, print it up, mail it out, and have it end up in the trash can. We want people to love it. Yes, part of your newsletter should promote you, but only a small part of it. You want to sell an entire program. Include a sales letter if you need to as a separate enclosure. Not necessarily every month, but if you need to have if you've got a brand new program, a brand new offering, and you're doing maybe a charity thing, a Toys for Tots drive, and you want to include something special with that and get people to buy because you're donating money to breast cancer awareness or whatever the case is. Any of those things, you can include an extra flyer within your sales letter because your newsletter is the guaranteed touch that your clients get every single month. Number three, have a client of the month section. This is big. You guys definitely want to have a client of the month section and recognize and reward your clients. Super important. I've been doing this again since 2003. My clients and customers love this. A section thanking your clients for referrals. This is important because it shows that other clients that we have also refer and that they should refer as well. Giving client or fan shout outs, a fan of the month. We've been doing that on Fan Fridays on Facebook and social media. A welcome new clients section is another great thing to put in your newsletter. Welcoming the new clients. It also takes away first-time fears for those customers that are on your list but have never booked you. They say, oh, wow, let's say it's a preschool client from let's say it's the ABC preschool. They've never booked you, but they're on your mailing list. They get your newsletter every month, and they say, oh, wow, the Bright Horizons preschool has just booked so-and-so the clown or so-and-so the magician. You know what? I got to check them out. I should definitely consider booking them. New client section, really, really powerful. A birthday, clients' birthdays. Get your clients' birthdays. Who doesn't love getting birthday shout outs? And a client of the month section, again, super, super powerful. People absolutely love it. Number four, your client newsletter should reflect your personality. Have a section entitled, what I like to call in my newsletter, Community Life. This is where you give some personal details about yourself, organizations that you're involved with, charity work, stuff going on around your neck of the your neck of the woods, it should say. You must make your clients and prospects feel that they know you personally. This is one of those keys to success and one of the ways that will also help build you in social media and vice versa. Get social media followers and so on and so forth. It's got to reflect your personality. Number five, and by the way, that means you've got to have lots of pictures. Professional, but personal. Professional, but personal. No one wants to read a newsletter that looks or feels like it was created for an accounting office or a real estate agent. We, again, are in the business of fun, so have fun with your newsletter. Make it look professional and not like you created it on an Apple IIe 1985 computer with a dot matrix printer. That was the very first computer I learned on when I was a kid. And make sure that it looks like it came from you and your business. Add photos, stuff about your family, etc. Make it personal, professional and personal. Your newsletter should also be designed to get you referrals, which we've been trying to hammer into your head here. Lots of referrals. In addition to the thank you for your referral section, I suggest that you also have a unique referral generation promotion in your newsletter. You can do this throughout the entire year. For example, in the newsletter I just created in May, this is actually the copy that we used in there. I want to write you because we're doing something special this month. This was actually an insert that I put into the newsletter. Doing something special this month, and we could really use your help. Since Mother's Day is coming up, we're raising money to help mothers against drunk driving. MAD. Here's how it works. If you know of a friend, family member, or coworker who needs an entertainer now or in the future for a company picnic, a wedding, a birthday, a family reunion, whatever, and you have them call us mentioning our May Mothers Against Drunk Driving, we'll donate $10 to the Red Cross regardless of whether they decide to book us or not, or rather Mothers Against Drunk Driving, Red Cross. Please spread the word. We could really use your help. Thanks so much. It's showing people that there is more to you than just, hey, book me, book me, book me. Number 7, print and email version. In today's world, we use both. The perceived value and the impression of a physical paper and ink newsletter, I'm going to say that again, the perceived value of that paper and ink newsletter mailed right to your client is actually going to get you noticed as much as 10 times an email newsletter due to the huge decrease in traditional or snail mail, but the massive increase in email. Traditional direct mail works greater than email because it's less cluttered. It's a less cluttered marketplace. But you still need an email version. Because as you grow your list and your business grows, you'll be able to basically take the cost and drop a line to people through, a quick email blast or something like that, in addition to the snail mail. So use both of those. All right. So those are a bunch of tips that I breezed through. There'll be a replay of this, so you'll be able to go back and listen to those. But those are the tips that I would suggest using for your client newsletter. Now, your second problem solver to combat those 5 social media mistakes entertainers make. Let's see if you guys are finished writing all those writer-downers and tell me yes if you want to hear my second simple solution that you can start doing immediately. All right, boom, you guys are on fire tonight. Here it comes, guys. This is a little creation that I think you are going to love, and it's called ACC, Article Crafted Content. Article Crafted Content. Here's what it is. My simple formula to make knowing what to post and making it something of interest and value, plus something that is easily transferable to multiple platforms, is as follows. Article Crafted Content. Here's what you do. Every week, you simply write an article. Write an article about a topic that your target market would find interesting, unique, funny, informative, helpful, valuable, relatable, etc. Take that article, turn it into your blog post. This will be a huge help in natural search engine optimization results, SEO. Google loves fresh content on websites, and you're going to do it weekly with a brand new article, which is going to be your blog post. Then you're going to take a 140-character summary or a really great line from your article, and you're going to tweet it with a link back to your blog, which is a page, of course, on your website. In other words, you're starting to see the light bulbs go off, driving traffic back to your website. And of course, using a good hashtag. So now you've got an article. You've got that article turned into a blog post, which is also boosting your search engine results, which is going to be tweeted out and is going to drive people back to your website. Then you're going to post a similar tweet, but it's going to be a slightly longer version, and it's going to be a Facebook post about the article, also with a link back to your blog so people can read the full article. Then you're going to take your article and you're going to turn it into a script very easily. And you're going to create a YouTube video. No one knows what to put on YouTube besides their show demo. Well, you're going to take your post, turn it into a script with very little changes, and then you're going to be narrating the content, sharing it with your target market, and best of all, allowing them to get to see you on video, on camera, getting to know, like, and trust you. How cool is that? They're going to start being able to look into your eyes, get to see your sense of humor, your personality, and so on and so forth. Then you can rip the audio out of that video with a free audio ripper, and you can make a weekly podcast episode that you can also put up onto your blog that you can email blast out to your list. Finally, you can take your article and you can actually blast it out to your mailing list as a featured article, also in your monthly email newsletter. And that same article can go right into your printed newsletter as the content, featured article of the month. You've just taken one piece of self-written content, an article, and spun it into a multitude of awesome social media content that will build credibility, establish trust and likability, and boost your SEO results at the same time. SEO, like social media, is not an overnight fix, but if you do this on a monthly basis, if you put out an article a week, a blog post a week, that's 4 or 5 a month, depending on how the weeks fall, you're creating fresh content, boosting your SEO, getting people to like, know, and trust you. I mean, man, the possibilities of this are endless. So powerful. It's literally amazing, right? Now, some of you are thinking, heck yeah, let's do this. I'm going to write my first article tomorrow, and I'm going to start working on my newsletter. Do you guys think this is cool stuff here? I mean, is this valuable? Teresa just wrote, wow, this is great. I love it. This is awesome. Now, some of you are really pumped up and are ready to start working on this. But the rest of you are thinking, Brad, whoa, my head is about to explode. This is still too much. How many of you are thinking that this is too much? There's so much here. How can we simplify this? Type me in the chat box if this seems like there's just so much to do. It's overwhelming. Yeah, a lot of people are putting that in. Me. All right. What if I could give you a solution that gives you a systematic way to stay in touch, in contact with their past clients, with your past clients? Gives you a formalized referral system in place so that basically that you would consistently and predictably get lots of referrals every single month. What if I could give you a solution that gives you a system that could help you stay in contact with leads who request the information but who do not book immediately, and give you a system that provides you with a trunk full, get ready for it, of ready-made, done-for-you blog posts, articles, tweets, Facebook posts, broadcast emails? What if I could give you all of that and more? Would you want to hear about it? Type yes in the chat box if you do. I'm glad you said yes. Introducing my ultimate lead generation and client retention system for magicians and entertainers. I have been working on this system literally for the past 2 years, wanting to put this out for magicians and entertainers, those in my inner circle that are coaching clients and those that are part of our It Factor Live workshop and mastermind community know that I've talked about this for a long time. And I've waited to perfect it to a point where I could properly put this out for magicians and entertainers to alleviate those 4 major problems that magicians and entertainers face. Well, here it is. This system, the ultimate lead generation and client retention system for magicians and entertainers. It is a turnkey system that is done for you every single month, consisting of the ultimate client newsletter print edition, a black and white and color option for the newsletter, the ultimate client newsletter web edition for e-zines and emails, the ultimate social media content toolkit of exactly what to post, blog about, tweet about, and broadcast to your list. And it's all as customizable as you wish, and so much more. It's even so turnkey that you could hand it off to a virtual assistant for $5 or $10 that you hire on Guru or Fiverr or Elance or Odesk, and they can customize it, and you can literally forward the email that we send you every month with all of this content, give them the instructions once, and every month they do the work for you. How easy and turnkey is that? Let me take you inside of this system. Every month, delivered right to your inbox, you'll receive the upcoming month's content. You're going to receive a standard 4-page black and white newsletter with pre-written content and spaces for you to customize. You're going to receive a full-color 4-page newsletter, all beautiful color, places for photos and everything, also with pre-written content and spaces for you to customize. A 4-page self-mailer that you don't even need to put in an envelope. It's just a self-mailer. It's been designed for that purpose with pre-written content and spaces for you to customize. A 2-page pre-written newsletter with content and spaces for you to customize. And a postcard newsletter, what we call the world's smallest newsletter. A postcard, 4x6 postcard newsletter with pre-written content and spaces for you to customize. But it doesn't stop there, because we're also going to give you an email text newsletter, pre-written content and customization, an HTML newsletter, pre-written content and spaces for customization, and also the social media, which I'll get into in just a second because that's even so cool. The 4-page self-mailer and the full 4-page color version is just gorgeous. Beautiful pages, easy to customize in Microsoft Word, a place for you to customize your masthead, which you can literally copy over every single month. It's got all of the fun elements. This is a version of the one I use myself, so it's obviously got pictures that I'll post in there, and those are just placeholders. Literally, you can right-click on those and put your own pictures in there. But this content will be able to be changed every single month. We do the work. We develop the content with our team of writers, and we deliver it all to you. So all you have to do is take the versions that we have and pop in your customization. In other words, a little brief intro message to you to your subscribers, clients, and prospects, and then your client page. And again, this is so easy that if you didn't want to spend the 15 minutes that it would take each month to do this, you can hand it off to a virtual assistant and let them spend those 15 minutes. You just give them the list of referrals, the list of new clients, and so on and so forth. Beautiful, easy to done, looks personal, looks professional, and feels great. The black and white 4-page option, very similar if you want to print it on black and white options. You can also turn these into PDFs. Beautiful. Also, again, super customizable and easy. The black and white self-mailer, just 2 pages, one side back and forth. You fold it in the middle, put a piece of tape on it, staple it, boom, send it out, put your address on the back. You can even mail merge, making it super easy. The inside, if you wanted to do a 4-page self-mailer, again, this also gives you a closer look at the News About You page, the More Fun Than Should Be Humanly Possible page, and you can see how fun and professional this is, but it also recognizes the important people that you want to recognize that are your customer of the month, your client of the month, thank you for referrals, your community life section, etc. Black and white 2-page self-mailer, again, just like that. 2 pages front and back, easy to customize, easy to use. All of these are easily editable in Microsoft Word, which means you can also use open source Word. You can also use Google documents to be able to do that. Text and HTML email newsletters. If you want to just send out a text email newsletter like the one on the left, super easy to do. My buddy John Carlson has been doing this for over 10 years, sending out a text newsletter just like this Every single month, he books shows from sending out a plain text newsletter just like this. You can get a little fancier. You can create your own. You can use the HTML version that we give you, or you can take all of our content if you already have a newsletter format. Just let us do all the work and deliver that content to you, and then you paste it into your own format. You can do that too. Postcard mini newsletters, super cool. The world's smallest newsletter. Sends a little something super easy and super cheap to mail out. Still gives your USP, still thanks people for their referrals, still gives a little fun later side of something, and then a short personal story to let them know that you still exist, and so on and so forth. Super easy. You can alternate. One month you could send the mini postcard, then you could send a 2-page, then you could send a 4-page, so on and so forth. And in addition to all of the newsletter amazing stuff that you're going to get every single month, you are going to receive my social media magic templates. Every month, you're going to be sent our social media magic template, where we're going to give you a professionally written blog post, Facebook post, tweet that you only have to copy and paste. You don't need to write that weekly article. You're going to get it from us. You'll have it ready at your fingertips each week. It'll take you minutes to copy this and paste it into your blog, or again, pay a virtual assistant a couple bucks a month and give it to them, and they'll paste it into your blog. They'll tweet it or Facebook post it for you. So you're getting the blog post, you're getting the Facebook post, the tweets, the LinkedIn update, a video script. You're getting the e-blast or autoresponder message. All of that done for you. Can you copy and paste? You can do this. Hands off. If you were worried about writing those articles earlier, forget about writing them. I've just alleviated all of that stress and time from you having to do that. And the blog post, the script, it's all related to that article. Now, you're not just going to get one of those social media templates every month. Not 2. You're not even going to get 3 of those templates. You're going to get at least 10 social media templates. That means a different topic. 10 of those to choose from in 3 categories. What does that mean? Do the basic math. You're going to get 30 of those social media templates every single month. And they're going to be divided into the kids and family market, the corporate market, and the educational market. So depending on which market you work on, you can incorporate them. You can take those. You can take some of those articles that we give you for the social media. You can incorporate that into your newsletter. You can do pretty much anything you want with it outside of giving it to someone else who's not a member of this. But you guys are going to be able to use this content. It's created just for you. And it's created by our team of professional writers and our team of layout designers who are giving you this stuff so that we know it is going to work in your business, because it is already working in my own business and that of some of my test subjects who were the first couple people to try this out for us before we rolled it out, our beta testers. That is the ultimate lead generation and client retention system. So you might be wondering how I can get in on this. Well, I advise you to stick around, and I'm going to tell you exactly how you can get in on this. This is a tough thing for me. I really wanted to make this something that was going to provide you with a service that would be done for you. Obviously, when we're talking about a done for you service, what that means is it is just that. It is done for you. It means that you don't have to do the work on it, but my team does. And my team don't work for free, just like you don't do magic shows for free. So we had to come up with a way to price this so that it would be fair all the way around, that my team would be able to compile this and create this each month and deliver it to you completely hands off. Obviously, hands off with the exception of you making those few little customizable changes. Obviously, factor in that you might be spending another $10 on a virtual assistant to make a few little changes once a month if you were going to go that route. But this is completely something super easy for you to do on your own because it's all done in Microsoft Word and so on and so forth. So, here we go. Everything described, all the templates, the print, the digital, the color, black and white, all the social media magic content, posts, the scripts, the emails, the tweets, and more. Your monthly investment is simply $147. That is less than 1 show a month. Joe just typed, unbelievable. 147 is less than one show a month, and I can promise you, if you implement this, you will be booking way more than one show a month. We are going to deliver this to you done for you on a silver platter. You will be booking more than one show a month by putting this to work in your business. Also, if you want to get on this deal tonight, you can do our annual plan. Instead of paying the $147 a month, which comes out to a yearly amount of $17.97, you will pay only $14.97 annually. Now, how about some awesome bonuses? Let me toss these bad boys in here for you. Bonus number 1, getting started private closed door webinar training and coaching with me. I will personally help our new members get up and running with their new blockbuster and lead generation system. Stick with me because I got a big surprise for you. Bonus number 5 is going to blow the lid off of this. Bonus number 1 is cool. You're going to get to know everything that you need to know about incorporating your new blockbuster lead generation and client referral system into this live webinar training. That bonus is a $97 value, and I'm going to walk you step by step through your brand new car. I'm going to teach you exactly how to make it work. Bonus number 2, you're going to get 3 additional newsletter layouts, beautifully designed and ready for you to customize with our monthly content. Let me show you some of these bad boys. Professionally designed templates, $297 value. Gorgeous. This has great spaces for you to customize, very fun, very professionally driven. Plenty of spaces, still incorporates all of the strategies that I suggest, but this is a little bit of a more of a corporate style newsletter, something that gives you the extra professionalism, the extra slickness that you may be looking for. You're going to get our children's preschool and educational version of the newsletter so that you can take this layout and fill it in with the content that we're going to give you every single month. And my favorite, the Magic Time newsletter. I love this one. Now, obviously, I don't expect you to use my picture in there. You can if you'd like. I'll take your bookings, but those are places where you will customize your own picture. Super easy to do. But this is a beautifully created, professionally designed layout. Again, features the more fun than should be allowed, the news for you, customer spotlight, and everything. Our back page really helps make you look like the local celebrity. You're going to get those 3 additional designs absolutely for free. Coupons! Every so often, you may need a custom article. Well, I'm going to give you 5 custom article coupons. Need an article written about a specific topic for your blog, your newsletter, etc.? Use one of your custom article coupons to have our team of professional writers create your unique article for you to use on social media, your blog, and your newsletters, etc. Great value. Any topic that you want, keep it clean. Any topic that you want, our people will do it. Custom articles can cost $50 and upward. Our people are going to write it for you absolutely free. You're going to get 5 of those custom article coupons. You tell us what the topic is, and boom, our writers go to work for you. Going to be yours for free. Bonus number 4, a custom masthead for your newsletter. You'll provide us with the title of your newsletter. You can use ours if you like, or you can create your own newsletter title. And then you can give us your logo, your photo, and we will create a custom masthead to give your newsletter its very own celebrity look. A $97 value. We are going to create this exclusively for you. And here it is, bonus number 5 that I told you I was going to give. A guaranteed for life charter membership. Guaranteed for life charter membership. Because we are rolling this out for the very first time, we want you to get in on the ground floor with us. Since you're getting in on the ground floor with us, this new system, we want you to be a charter member. If you join this week until Friday, May 13th at midnight, you can shave off another $50 a month, bringing your charter membership to only $97 per month. There's the link. It's in the chat box right now, themagicnewsletter.com. $97 a month, way less than what you will make booking one more show every single month. I'll never forget when I started using a newsletter in 2003. I was a coaching client of Dave D's. He talked me into doing a newsletter, and I never turned back. I continued using it for over a dozen years because it works. For the price of $97, you are going to have the content. The social media alone is worth this. We're giving you 30 pieces of 30 scripts, 30 blog posts. Not that you're going to use 30 a month. You could, but literally you could do one a day if you were a maniac and on drugs or something. But that's not what's going to happen. We're going to give it to you. You're going to create and use as many as you want, but you theoretically could do that many of them. That alone is worth the price of this, let alone the newsletter content that you're getting, the building of top of mind awareness. Unbelievable value becoming a charter membership. Now, everything that you can get, that $97 a month, way less than one show, or if you want to do one payment up front, paid annually, it drops down to $83 a month, and you can also select that option. You save a little bit of extra money. You save about $164 if you paid annually. And again, it works out to the $83 a month, but you have to pay that up front. TheMagicNewsletter.com. There it is, my friends. This is our special deal. The charter sale ends this Friday, May 13th, Friday the 13th at midnight Eastern Standard Time. Alrighty, guys, it is time to open up and ask for questions. All right. Harold wants to know, is it possible to get it translated into another language, the newsletter? It looks very interesting, and I think it would be great, but I need it translated into Norwegian. Well, yes, Harold, the short answer of that is absolutely you can translate it into Norwegian. What I would suggest doing, if you don't want to do the translating yourself, is hire a virtual assistant, someone in Norway, where you are, that can take the content that you want to use, look at select the social media posts in English that you want to use, select the content that you want to use for the newsletter, and give that to a virtual assistant every month. Come up with an agreed upon dollar amount, $10, $20, whatever it is. I don't know what a translator would cost you to translate it all, and they would translate it for you. That would be my suggestion, and that obviously goes for other languages as well. Now, obviously, if there is enough of a demand for us to translate it into French or into Spanish or even Norwegian, if we had enough people that wanted to do it, we could potentially look into doing that ourselves for you. But I got to get enough of a demand in order to do that. So let me know if that is of interest to other people. There you go. Tyler said, this is less than I would pay an assistant. Absolutely. Tyler says, mind blown. Boom. That's what I love to hear. That is what I live for, is when people say that. You've heard of over deliver. That is what I love to do. That's why I've worked for 2 years creating this, because I only wanted to release this when I could give you something that would completely be worth 10 times what we're giving you. So thank you, Tyler. I'm glad you appreciate it, my friend. Let's see here. A couple of questions up above. Yep, Jose says you have to put in the work to get the results. Jose, my man, 110%. Luckily, I can eliminate a lot of that stress for you by giving you a turnkey system like this. And you just got to put in a little bit of extra effort to customize it, or if you don't want to, pay someone else a couple bucks to customize it, and boom, you're ready to go. Michelle, yes, we will have a replay for this. And also, Michelle, if I do a different niche, do you suggest having a different newsletter for each niche? Interesting, tough question. If they are completely different niches, if you do birthday parties and preschools, I would combine the two because they're very related. However, if you do preschools and corporate, those are completely unrelated. So I would then, in those cases, have 2 different newsletters, 2 different email blasts, 2 different sets of social media content, and so on and so forth. Okay, Tyler says, if I have no list, what's the first step after coming on? Great question. This is actually something Tyler will cover with you on our very first training webinar that we are going to do for everyone coming on board as a charter member. In short, I'm going to give you a lot of tips on building your list on that webinar, Tyler. But in short, you got to start building that list today. Yesterday. In other words, every person that contacts you, make sure you get their email address, their phone number, and their mailing address. And you've got to just start gathering that. Even if you started so basically in Microsoft Excel in an Excel document, and you just literally started keeping track of every customer who calls and jotting that information down, phone number, name, phone number, email, mailing address. Everybody, that is something you should be doing ongoing on a regular basis. So that's how I would start immediately, is doing that. Moving forward with your social media, I don't know if you have a fan page. If you have those channels set up, we're going to cover several of those things, making sure you have your account set up on that upcoming webinar. We're going to cover a lot of those details. But to start out immediately, any inquiries that you get, go back also through your files. Go back, look at your contracts, your confirmation letters, people that you did a show for recently, last week, last month, last year. I would go back as far as the past 3 or 4 years and grab all those people's email addresses. You should have some record of who you performed for over these years and put them into an Excel spreadsheet. You've got to start building your list somehow. So start with your past clients and continue adding. Teresa, will this work for musicians? Absolutely. Here's the thing about this. There's nothing magic related in the content that I just showed you. Nothing. This works for magicians, hypnotists, ventriloquists, puppeteers, mentalists, professional speakers. What's so unique about this is the only relationship to what you do as a musician, a magician, a hypnotist, a mentalist, a speaker, whatever, is the promotions that you put in, talking about the venues you're performing in. So 150%, this is customizable for your market. This is one of the first things I've ever put out that is really across the board. It is not magic related specifically, gives you that ability. So yeah, Teresa, absolutely. And yes, Graham Rogers said he used to have the old Jack Turk newsletter, and he said this takes the original newsletter product from back then to a whole new level, more than I could imagine. Well, I am so glad, Graham, that you see that we've put a lot of work into this. This was actually an original concept of Dave Dees. That was how I first got started doing a newsletter back in 2003. When Jack Turk took over Dave's business, he started doing a newsletter very similar to this. And I knew that if I was going to put it out under my version of the Magic Marketing Center that I took over 2 years ago, and under the Brad Ross brand and the Make Magic Money brand, that I needed to make it something that was going to be again, a mind-blown kind of thing, an over-delivery of everything that you could possibly want and more. I want to give you more tools than you even need so you have the choices to use. The sale is over this coming Friday, again, Friday the 13th, 2016, at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We will be getting everyone that is joining in the charter membership all of the nitty-gritty stuff over the weekend. So you will be getting everything, and then we will be doing our introductory webinar next week so that you can actually literally dive right in, and it'll be perfect timing because you'll be working on your June newsletter and June content. And you know, guys, I'm going to over-deliver. I'm going to throw in as much of my time as I possibly can to help you get this up and running and make this successful. Oh, Tyler wants to know if can you pay with debit or Visa? Yes, debit Visa card. Yes, as long as it acts like a credit card. Yes, it will basically just auto bill on the $97 a month each month on the same date that you sign up at. And Michelle says, I'll send you an email right away after this webinar. Please check the answer as soon as possible. I can tell you this, Michelle. We're not gonna. If we had enough interest in a French version of this, it would not happen immediately. Realistically, it would not happen until end of the summer. So what I would suggest is get in on the charter membership right now. And this is also for anyone interested in the Spanish version or a Norwegian version. Get in on the charter membership this week before the offer closes. Then we'll see where the interest lies in a language specific version. In the meantime, you can have someone locally translate. You can hire a virtual assistant in your language to translate it, and that will be the most cost effective way for you to get in on this right now at the current charter membership price, because I am serious about that. The charter membership disappears after Friday. I really only want to offer this significant discount to those who are truly serious and see the incredible value in this right away. Guys, I just want to close by talking about this one last thing. You know, all of us have disposable income. Most of us get a paycheck for each show that we do, so we get paid regularly. And a percentage of that goes to movies, things like that, spending some time with our family, all super, super important. But we also spend a percentage of that on stuff that we really don't need, stuff that really doesn't do anything for us. So I'm going to talk to you guys, and I'm going to say that what this is an investment. This is taking a little bit of your disposable income, less than one show a month, and instead of blowing it on stuff that's just going to be there, or stuff that's going to fade away, or going out drinking with your buddies, or stuff like that, stuff that you're just going to lose. Instead, I'm asking you to make an investment in yourself. because the money that you put into this system as a charter member is going to turn into even more money. You guys have, I'm sure, heard of the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Well, in that book, he talks about the difference between assets and liabilities. He said poor people buy liabilities, cars, boats, etc. They buy things where you put your money in, and then the money disappears. Rich people put money into investments. They put money into investments, things that actually turn into more money. So tonight, with the offer of our charter membership in the Magic Newsletter system, I'm asking you to divert some of that disposable income into an investment as opposed to something that's going to take money away from you. The ultimate lead generation and client retention system for magicians and entertainers is going to book more shows for you, is going to get you more leads, more referrals, and it is going to make you more money. I want to thank you guys for being with us here on this webcast. I appreciate your time that you spent it with us here tonight, and I invite you to join our charter membership for the Magic Newsletter and start reaping the rewards immediately and start booking more shows, making more money, and truly appreciating and living the life that you deserve to live because you are having and living and running a successful business. So I will see you guys on the other side when you join our charter membership of the Magic Newsletter. And until next time, this is Brad Ross signing off for MakeMagicMoney.com and the Magic Marketing Center, saying do what you love and love what you do.